the one text that will make a narcissist panic. Use it wisely. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt trapped in someone else's illusion? Have you ever felt like you were pouring your soul into someone who only drained you dry? I'm talking about narcissists, the ones who manipulate, deceive, and gaslight, the ones who make you second guess your own worth, the ones who thrive on your reaction because your emotions fuel their game. Well, today we take back the power. Today I give you the one text that will make a narcissist panic. But listen closely. This is not about revenge. It's not about stooping to their level. It's about freedom. It's about owning your life again. So what is this text? It's a simple message, yet it's the one thing a narcissist cannot stand. I've made my decision. This conversation is over. That's it. No emotion, no explanation, no argument, just power. Because let me tell you something, narcissists feed on your uncertainty. They need you to explain, to defend, to beg for their approval. But when you take away their oxygen, your emotional reaction, they suffocate. And guess what happens when a narcissist realizes they no longer control you? They panic because deep down they are terrified, not of losing you, but of losing control. So when you send that text, you send a message to yourself. You say, I am done playing this game. I refuse to be manipulated. I choose peace over chaos. And when you hit send, you step into a new reality, one where you are free. Indifference is your greatest weapon. Let me tell you something. Narcissists don't just want your attention. They need it. They thrive on it. Your emotions are their fuel. Whether it's love, anger, frustration, or desperation, it doesn't matter. As long as you're reacting, they're winning. But what happens when you stop playing? What happens when you become indifferent? When you remove the very thing they need to survive? Your energy, your focus, your emotional investment, they lose power. See, a narcissist doesn't just want control. They want to know that they control you. They want proof. They want to see you struggle, to watch you chase their validation, to feel like they are the center of your universe. But when you become indifferent, it destroys their illusion. It shatters their fantasy that they are the most important thing in your life. Suddenly, they're left scrambling, wondering why their usual tricks don't work anymore. Imagine you're in a game of tug of war. They pull, you pull back, they yank harder, you yank harder, goes on until you do the one thing they never expect. You drop the rope, and the moment you do, what happens? They fall. They lose balance, they panic, because they never prepared for a world where you don't fight back. Indifference is not weakness. It's not about ignoring them out of fear. It's about realizing they are no longer worth your energy. It's about recognizing that their power over you was only ever an illusion, one that you can break. Most people make the mistake of thinking they need to win against a narcissist. They think if they prove their point, expose the lies, or finally get an apology, they'll feel free. But you don't win by fighting. You win by not playing their game. And the moment you become indifferent, you reclaim something priceless, your peace. Because you are no longer controlled by their chaos. You are no longer a character in their twisted story. You are free. It's not easy at first. Your mind will scream at you to react, to defend yourself, to engage. But every time you resist, every time you choose indifference over emotion, you're training yourself for something greater, a life where they no longer matter. And that, my friends, is the one thing they fear the most. Not your anger, not your words, not your revenge, but your freedom from them. Silence is louder than words. Most people think the key to winning an argument is saying the perfect thing, the ultimate comeback, the statement that will finally make the narcissist see the truth, admit their mistakes, and change. But that moment never comes. You could write an essay filled with logic, with proof, with undeniable facts. You could spell it out 1,000 different ways. But a narcissist doesn't care about truth. They don't care about logic. They only care about control. And the moment you realize that, something powerful happens. You stop wasting your breath. You stop chasing an outcome that will never come. You stop believing that if you just say the right words, they'll finally understand. Because here's the truth. Silence speaks louder than anything you could ever say. Silence is final. It's undeniable. It cannot be twisted, manipulated, or argued against. It is power when you refuse to explain yourself. When you refuse to argue, when you refuse to feed their need for attention, you become a nightmare they can't control. A narcissist expects a reaction. They thrive on it. They push your buttons, provoke you, do everything in their power to make you engage, because as long as you're talking, they're winning. But when you respond with silence, you starve them. You take away their ability to manipulate the situation. You show them without a single word that they no longer have access to you. And let me tell you, that is what makes them panic. They don't panic when you yell. They don't panic when you cry. They panic when they realize they've lost their grip on you. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's the presence of power. It's the moment they realize you don't need them, you don't fear them, and you don't care about their approval anymore. So when they try to bait you, when they try to drag you back in, when they try to get just one more reaction out of you, remember this: the most powerful statement you can make is saying nothing at all. Would you like me to continue expanding the remaining keynotes in this style? Clarity destroys manipulation. Let me tell you something. Confusion is a narcissist's greatest weapon. They don't win by force. They win by making you doubt yourself, by making you question your own reality, by twisting the truth until you can't tell what's real and what's manipulation. And that's why clarity is so dangerous to them. Because when you're clear, they can't control you. When you know exactly who you are, exactly what you deserve, and exactly what you will and won't tolerate, their games don't work anymore, SC. A narcissist thrives in the gray area. They love keeping you uncertain. One day they love you, the next they're distant. One moment they praise you, the next they criticize you. They create chaos, then blame you for reacting to it. Why? Because as long as you're confused, you're easy to control. As long as you're second guessing yourself, you'll keep looking to them for validation, for approval, for direction. And that's exactly where they want you, dependent on them. But when you get clear, when you decide once and for all that you are done with their mind games, everything changes. Because clarity is a decision. It's a firm, unshakable choice. It's saying, I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say. I know the truth, and that's enough. In the moment you make that decision, the narcissist loses their power. They will try to pull you back in. They will try to make you doubt yourself again. They will say things like, you're overreacting, you're making this up, you're being dramatic, that's not what happened. But this time it won't work, because you see the game, and when you see it, you no longer play it. Clarity destroys manipulation because it removes the fog. It cuts through the lies. It gives you the strength to walk away without looking back. So if you want to truly break free, you don't need more explanations. You don't need their validation. You just need clarity. And once you have it, the game is over. Narcissists crave your emotions. Starve them and they crumble. A narcissist doesn't care if you love them or hate them. They only care that you feel something for them. Because as long as you're emotional, as long as you're engaged, as long as you're reacting, they are in control. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how they always push you just far enough to make you break, then suddenly pull back? How they disappear just long enough for you to panic, then show up like nothing happened? That's not an accident. That's by design. They feed off your emotions, whether it's love, rage, sadness, or desperation. It doesn't matter. Your feelings are their fuel. And that's why the most powerful thing you can do is take that fuel away. Imagine a fire. Doesn't matter how big it is. If you stop feeding it, it dies. The same is true for a narcissist. The moment you stop reacting, they lose control. The moment you stop explaining, stop defending, stop caring, they crumble. They'll try to provoke you. They'll push every button they can because they need that reaction to survive. And when they don't get it, they panic. They might lash out, become angry, or even play the victim. They will do anything to make you feel something for them again. But when you refuse to give them what they want, when you stay calm, unshaken, and uninterested, they start to unravel because they can't handle a world where they don't matter to you. So let them say what they want. Let them do what they do. Just don't feed the fire and watch how quickly it burns out. Boundaries are power. A narcissist's worst nightmare, a person with strong boundaries, because boundaries mean control. And control is something they can't stand unless they are the ones holding it. They want to walk all over you. They want to push you past your limits. They want you to be so afraid of losing them that you let them do whatever they want. But the moment you set a boundary, a real, unshakable boundary, they lose their grip. Because boundaries say, I decide what I allow in my life. Boundaries say, I am not here to be used, manipulated, or disrespected. Boundaries say, if you cross this line, you will no longer have access to me. And that terrifies a narcissist at first. They will test you. They will see if you really mean it. They will push, prod, and provoke. Because in the past, they've broken your boundaries. And they assume they can do it again, but this time is different. Because this time, you stand firm. No explaining, no negotiating, no backing down, just a firm, simple no. And when they realize they can't control you anymore, they will either rage or disappear. Either way, you win, because boundaries don't just protect you from them, they set the tone for the rest of your life. And when you master boundaries, you become untouchable. Freedom starts with one decision. People think freedom is a process, that it takes years to heal, to break free, to move on. But the truth is, freedom starts with one decision. The decision to be done, not to argue one last time, not to explain one last thing, not to wait for an apology that will never come, just to be done. Because the moment you decide, everything shifts. Your mind shifts, your energy shifts, your entire reality shifts. And yes, it will be hard. Yes, your emotions will scream at you to go back. Yes, there will be moments of doubt. But every time you feel weak, remind yourself, the pain of letting go is temporary. The pain of staying is forever. And when you truly choose freedom, nothing and no one can take it from you. The past does not define you. Let's get real. You've been through hell. You've been lied to, manipulated, broken down. You've given your best to someone who never deserved it. But hear me loud and clear. Your past does not define you. It doesn't matter what they did. It doesn't matter how long you stayed. It doesn't matter how many times you fell for their lies. What matters is what you choose now, because you are not weak. You are not foolish. You are not foolish. You are not broken. You are waking up. And once you wake up, once you see the truth, once you realize you are so much stronger than you ever knew, nothing will ever be the same. You get to write your next chapter. You get to decide who you become, and the person you are becoming, they are unstoppable. You hold the power. Let me leave you with this. Narcissists don't fear losing you. They fear losing control over you. They never valued you for who you are. They valued you for what you gave them, your energy, your emotions, your time, your attention. But that ends today, because now you see the truth. Now you understand the game. Now you hold the power. And the moment you decide that you are done, truly done, they lose. No more explaining, no more justifying, no more waiting for an apology that will never come. You are not here to fix them. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to live fully, freely, and without fear. And when you send that text, when you say, I've made my decision, this conversation is over, you are not just ending a toxic cycle. You are reclaiming your life. So walk away with your head high. Walk away knowing you have nothing to prove. Walk away because the future ahead of you is so much brighter than the past behind you. And when they panic, when they try to pull you back, when they realize their grip on you is gone, smile, because that's the moment you'll know you've already won.